The Metal Gear franchise is well established amongst gamers, thanks to the brilliance of Kojima and his talent for making good, funny and sometimes crazy games. While the primary gameplay of past Metal Gear games involved a lot of stealth, fans were lucky enough to get a spin-off title that was basically the complete opposite. Enter Metal Gear Rising. By the year 2013, action games were in abundance, especially with games like God of War, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta and Ninja Gaiden that had players mashing buttons and breaking controllers. While these games were fun, Metal Gear Rising was able to establish itself as one of the best hack and slash titles out there and a must-have for any lover of pure outrageous and insane combat. Today, we're looking at 10 things that made this game awesome.
Let's get this over with.
Number 10. A returning hero and old enemies. This is not the first time we got to play as Raiden. That actually happened in Metal Gear Solid 2. However, this time around he has a completely different skill set, and when you look at it, he is obviously a lot more powerful than he was in the past. In Metal Gear Solid 2, he fought off against a Metal Gear Ray unit, which was a boss encounter back in the game, same like how it is a boss encounter in Metal Gear Rising. The only difference is, Raiden is a lot more powerful, a lot more agile, and a lot more ninja-like. He has access to a whole new arsenal of moves that can shred almost anything into pieces. And when you look at it now, going back, I guess it's a pretty cool throwback to look at it for fans of the series and also, well, new fans alike. Because now you not only get to see and understand what Raiden's capable of in Metal Gear Rising, but you also get that piqued curiosity to go back into Metal Gear Solid 2 and actually see what it is that you missed out on. I was one of these fans. I mean, I played Metal Gear Rising, that was my first Metal Gear game ever, and I had to go back in time to actually enjoy the previous titles and actually see what it was like back in the day. And I'll admit, Raiden has definitely grown since then. Number 9. Ninja running. Now it's no secret at this point in time, basically Raiden is a cyborg ninja, and while that's pretty cool and all that, he actually has a ninja run. Now I know the first thing that comes to some people's mind is the Naruto run, which in real life looks hilarious. Raiden, on the other hand, has his own variant of the ninja run that allows him to easily parkour through obstacles, missiles, up the side of a building, all the while allowing him to deflect bullets or attack with his sword at the same time. If anything, this should be labeled as the true ninja run, but hey, let's not upset the Naruto community because that's a hornet's nest I really don't want to rattle. Number 8. Stealth. Despite there being a heavy focus on over-the-top action thanks to Raiden's skill set, he is still a ninja, and in true Metal Gear fashion, you can sneak up to your enemies without being noticed for a stealth takedown. In all its hilarity, you can do this with a cardboard box, which I personally get kicks out of every single time. For returning fans of the series, this is also yet another throwback, and it also shows that as much as you have access to this new skill set, and you can choose how you want to play it out in terms of having your, well, alerting every enemy in the room and then slicing all of them up into tiny bits and pieces, you can also at the same time take things slowly, take your time, sneak around people, and obviously execute some silent kills. For older fans, I guess this is, well, an homage to the previous games that just never really dies out, regardless of how old this mechanic may be. Number 7. Raiden's split personality. As the story progresses, we learn more about Raiden and how he was not only a child soldier but also an extremely proficient killer nicknamed Jack the Ripper. Now for those of you who don't know, Raiden's real name is actually Jack. His wife's name is actually Rose, and the inspiration for that actually came from the Titanic movie where the main characters are named Jack and Rose. Anyway, toward the middle of the game we get to see a darker side to Raiden that makes you question whether he is a hero or a blood-hungry maniac. Apart from having an extremely altered, twisted and aggressive personality, he also, when entering into Ripper mode, gains the ability to brutally slice his opponents into pieces without having to enter Blade mode. This is basically like a Devil Trigger state that makes Raiden a complete savage and is really helpful in tight situations, as he gains intense and immense strength and ferocity that makes you feel like Kratos. Well, if Kratos were a cyborg, that is.
Now you're just being nasty.
Number 6. Blade mode and Zandatsu. Now thanks to Raiden's skill set, he has moves which are exclusive to him. One of them being Blade mode. When entering Blade mode, Raiden has the ability to cut almost anything from enemies, objects, buildings, projectiles, watermelons, and pesky yellow tape with extreme precision.
Yes, Tovarich.
When active, Raiden can easily slice most enemies into pieces within a matter of seconds. That allows him to perform a Zandatsu, which literally means cut and take. In all cases, when performing a Zandatsu, Raiden basically rips out his opponent's fuel cells to replenish his health and blade meter, meaning that if you are fast enough and precise enough, you can easily use your enemies like health packs as you see necessary, basically making you invincible. I guess the more proficient you are at it, the more likely you are to survive. Number 5. The music. As you know, for any game, music is always important. It sets the mood and can really get your blood flowing, especially when it is done right. Not only did the composers create some of the most awesome backtracks for this game, they played it in such a way that made you feel as if though you were in control of the tempo, speed, and flow of not just combat, but also the music. In fact, talking about it doesn't really do it any justice. The best thing is to actually show it to you instead.
Finish that bastard off!
Number 4. Cats. For those of you who are cat people like myself, at the start of the second mission, Raiden encounters a cat at the shore of the beach. While at first this does not seem like a big deal, the cat is actually invincible, and no matter how hard you try, you cannot harm it. I guess this game also has ninja cats. That, or it has the most invincible boss in gaming history, I don't know. What's a little more weird is that we encounter another cat right before the boss fight with Monsoon. By turning the camera to the right during this little cutscene, we can see a cat walk up to an enemy soldier, which results in the soldier playing around with the cat till it loses interest and leaves. I'm not sure if Kojima or one of the other developers were cat lovers, but nevertheless, this is just awesome. Number 3. The Grey Fox weapon and costume. In Metal Gear Solid 1, players encounter the legendary ninja Grey Fox. While he isn't in this game, players had the chance to use his costume together with his weapon. This is by far one of the coolest throwbacks in any game franchise, as it not only pays respect to existing fans, but also adds a new layer of intrigue to newcomers who, like me, had to look into who Grey Fox actually was. That, and he too is a cyborg ninja, so I guess having his costume here makes total sense. Number 2. Raiden. Now, in any game, the lead character's role is obviously important. I mean, that's what you really get interested in. You want to know about their backstory, who they are, and what it is that they're trying to achieve, whether it be Kratos, Dante, Lara Croft, Bayonetta, or Raiden. You're gonna take some sort of interest in who they are. And straight out of the gate, it's made perfectly clear in Metal Gear Rising that Raiden is by far one of the greatest warriors on the planet. What's even more impressive about him is that he is self-taught and still remains humble about it. In fact, he chooses to see his sword as a tool for justice instead of a simple weapon to turn his enemies into Lego pieces. He further, despite his skills and strength, wishes to protect those weaker than him by pushing himself to his limits regardless of how much of danger or harm he may face. If anything, he comes across as a pure-hearted warrior that just wants to do what is right, provided he doesn't get pushed to the point of bringing Jack the Ripper back out again. That's when we see his somewhat alter ego that simply shreds anything standing between him and his mission. Number 1. The final battle between Raiden and Samuel. The first encounter with this boss results in him chopping off your arm and cutting out your eye, which explains Raiden's appearance for the rest of Metal Gear Rising with the whole eye patch on the left eye. Your final fight with him, however, is like an ending of a true samurai flick, where two samurai face off against one another in the sunset for the final showdown in a test of skill, with each fighting for their honor and what they believe in. Samuel's behavior and the way he fights are extremely impressive, with him even just using his fists and kicks at times as if though he's basically mocking you for a lack of skill. While this fight has some brutal moments, it ends with the revelation that Samuel, unlike Raiden, isn't actually a cyborg. In fact, he has literal cyborg enhancements, which means that his level of skill is far beyond that of what any human being should be capable of. And also due to the fact that he was able to fight on even ground with a guy who can throw a robot bigger than a skyscraper like it was a stick is, well, alone just impressive. Needless to say, this has got to be one of the best boss fights in gaming history.
Now this is a fight!
Okay, so that brings us to the end of this list for this game. These are just 10 things which I found was pretty cool or awesome about Metal Gear Rising. Obviously, I played this game first before any other Metal Gear games, and then I had to learn more about Raiden, some of his backstory, go back into it, find out more about Metal Gear's history, and obviously I dug up and found more interesting things which I thought would be a good idea to point out in this video. Anyway, for those of you who enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. Don't be afraid to subscribe if you're not already. Turn on the bell notification and share the video. I hope to see you in the next one, and till then, goodbye.